back to the beginning of my Rabbanis in Baltimore, so actually I owe a tremendous Hakar Satov to Rabbi J.J. Shachter, because my first year in Baltimore, Rabbi Shachter was still running the Soloveitchik Institute in Boston, or outside of Boston, and he had a Yarchei Kallah for Rabbanim. That was literally my first year in Baltimore, and that year changed my life. That Yarchei Kallah at the Soloveitchik Institute, subsequently it morphed into the Center for Jewish Future, but that Yarchei Kallah at Soloveitchik Institute, it changed my life. It changed the way I look at the Rabbanos. It changed the way I looked at drashas. And I would say that Rabbi Shachter really gave me the framework for critical thinking about drashas and how to approach it and what it means and what the avoda is. I think that a lot of times people think about a drasha like, oh, you found the vart, you found a nice Devar Torah, you have your drasha. And I think what Rabbi Shachter really drilled into us in a loving, beautiful way was that a drasha is almost like there's an art form to it. There's an art form to it. There's an introduction, there's a question, or there's a body, and then there's a connector. And then so I think Rabbi Shachter really just taught us that. First, I think one of the most incredible things was he explained to us that, the drasha is something that as a Rav, you have the ability to convey something meaningful over to your balabatim. So give it the respect that it deserves. In other words, that if you respect your balabatim, you respect your kehillah, then you should put in the time cultivating something that is meaningful. If it's chaplap and you're just finding something here, finding something there, and just pulling it together, and there's no real thought, that's a disrespect to your balabatim. And to me, that was very profound. That was very profound. Not that a drasha is the most important thing that a Rav does. I think that this is often like a misnomer of guys who get into the Rabbanos, that people think like the most important function of a Rav is to give an inspiring drasha. I think those of us who have been in the Rabbanos for a while know that drashas are easily forgotten. What's not forgotten is when you're there for your balabatim in their time of need, in a moment. So those are the things that actually really make a great Rav. You could be a terrible speaker and a fantastic Rav, and you could be a great speaker and a terrible Rav. And I think it's all about that commitment. But I think Rabbi Shachter really, for me personally, I know for many of my contemporaries as well, is that the drasha deserves methodical thought. What are you going to give? How are you going to give it? What's the message? What's the takeaway? And what's the action items? And give it thought. Give it thought. This is not something you do on your walk to shul Shabbos morning. This is an avoda, and it's an avoda that should be taken seriously.